This is such a load of total incoherent crap that I almost didn't comment on this section. However, I would like to point out that there are no ordered systems for these kinds in the creationist model that Venom brought up, simply because there's no science or research to support the claims. Linnaeus is famous for saying, "God creates, Linnaeus arranges." This is the man who came up with the current system for organizing the species of the Earth that we use today. Now, I bring Linnaeus to point out that things are organized the way they are for a reason, much the same way as a library, a grocery store, a computer hard drive, etc. There's a reason that people arrange things. However, you then quickly go on to claim that our system of organization would be utterly useless if the entire concept that the system was based upon was changed to the creationist kinds model. Well, Venom, I have to completely agree with you. I would say that it's pretty rare to find a man-made system of organization that will continue to operate if you change the entire condition that it was designed to work from. I'm not real sure how often you go to the library, but I still am going to use this example. Basically, what you just told me is that the Dewey Decimal System that we use in our libraries for organizing our books will not work if you suddenly replace all of the structured numbers with random letters. Our system does not include kinds. I hope you understand this. On other things you did, you spouted a little bit of crap that evolution can't be proved until it's disproved, and then you again accused science of being biased against you.
That they may appear to be of the same family or design. In order to verify this, all that needs to be done is to demonstrate that a lion and a cheetah do or do not have a common ancestor. If it can be demonstrated that any animal or plant within a family do not share a common ancestor with each other, this would disprove evolution immediately and prove supernatural creation of kinds. However, since lions and cheetahs are both clearly of the same family or design and can potentially interbreed, we must be careful not to overlook the possibility of a very recent common ancestor. If such is the case, this does not exclude the possibility that the two are originally from two separate kinds that do not share a common ancestor previous to them having one. It is therefore necessary to build an ancestral history based on verifiable evidence, not homologous structures in the fossil record, that can clearly demonstrate where exactly the cheetah and the lion had a common ancestor. If no such common ancestor can be found and confirmed without bias, and this test is performed between two or more of any plant or animal life without ever finding anything to the contrary, we can confirm with certainty evolution did not happen, and that kinds do exist.
Thankfully, this video is almost at a close at this point. I'm actually tired of watching it, and I think that I've actually covered almost all the garbage as far as logical fallacies at this point. I'd say we use the fossil record, but Venom Fang X has outlawed that under his bogus circular logic claim, but it doesn't really matter. We'll just go ahead and compare genomes instead. I'm fairly certain anyone watching this video realizes that chimpanzees are very close genetically to humans. Our cousins, the apes and chimpanzees, have 48 pairs of chromosomes, and we have 46. But guess what? One of our pairs is fused together. This is called a Robertsonian translocation, and we know right where it happened. We know where these are welded together. We can find it. While we're talking about animal matings, horses have 64 chromosomes, and donkeys have 62 chromosomes. When they breed, a mule is produced with 63 chromosomes, and is usually infertile. There have been only 60 documented cases of fertile mares and no stallions. But wild horses with 66 chromosomes can mate with a domestic horse that has 64 chromosomes, and they don't suffer from sterility. With some kinds of chromosomal rearrangements, the various segments are still able to pair up and cross over, even though there might be more than 2 centromeres involved. For example, 2 chromosomes might only match up halfway, while the rest of each of these 2 chromosomes might match a 3rd chromosome. This would make it possible for various chromosome numbers to maintain the same information and still give a viable as well as fertile offspring, and various interbreeding creatures do in fact maintain a wide range of possible chromosome numbers in the respective gene pools. I realize my previous tidbit might not have actually addressed what Venom Fang X was directly saying. He wants us to demonstrate that a lion and a cheetah have a common ancestor, and not to use the fossil record because it's biased, and more trying to disprove something by proving something else. Again, very bad logic. And at this point, everything he's talking about is based off the previously pointed out flaws in logic. I'm actually not even going to go into that. I've already done it.
In the event that fossils are too elusive, compounded with the fact that they cannot be used as evidence of common descent due to circular reasoning, there is a superior and far more effective way to falsify evolution. Evolution states by addition of new traits, new organs, new anatomy, that the first life forms increased in complexity and size by introduction of new traits, slowly increasing step by step to more complex life forms. Notice that the addition of such traits cannot be attributed to the alteration of old ones, for obvious reasons, since detrimental or beneficial mutations are only alterations of already existing traits and cannot account for an increase in the number of traits any given life form possesses. That means bacteria becoming able to digest nylon is a mere mutation of already existing digestive capabilities and cannot be classified as an increase in traits.
Oh wow, just wow. You actually, an example was used here of a bacteria that has a new trait, then there was a flat out lie. This bacteria now eats nylon. It didn't eat nylon before. This is not a trait. I am going to have to disagree with you on this. I'm going to say that if it didn't eat nylon before and it now eats nylon, it's got a new trait, and we call that trait "now I can eat nylon." I'm kind of lost for words on this. I really didn't plan to look anything up on this, but you did that for me, as providing it's true.
Evolution theory would predict that the process of gradual change and increase in traits is an ongoing process, and therefore should be observable in today's living animals and plants through new emerging traits that any given plant or animal did not possess in its ancestry. Those who say such changes take millions of years and cannot be observed today only say so because no such trait has ever been observed to emerge or be in the process of emerging in contemporary history, which is what the creation model predicts. If evolution theory be true, we would expect that at least one animal or one plant would contain a new trait or be in the process of growing such a trait over its known common ancestors. That is not simply a multiplication or alteration of a trait it already had.
Okay, Venom. They do, and they are. You really have no idea what you're talking about at this point. I'm admittedly very humble here. This is my first video, and I'm asking for input and critical advice. If I have goofed or quoted something wrong, I want to know about it, because I don't want to be telling people false information. I don't think you share my sentiment. I really, at this point, have no idea what you're doing.
At this point, the fossil record cannot be used as evidence to prove that evolution can produce new traits, due to the fact that two animals that appear to be of the same family, while they do indeed exhibit distinct trait differences, may not have a common ancestor, but rather were created differently with all their different traits. It is therefore of paramount importance to show a single instance of such an increase of traits exists within a provable ancestry, and not assume anything concerning where the traits in the fossil record owe their origin. In conclusion, should any two animals or plants within a family be proven not to share a common ancestor, or if no provable increase of traits can be demonstrated to be in its beginnings or actively present in the animal and plants living today over their provable ancestry, then the Bible is correct when it says God created all the animals and plants as distinct kinds with their traits to begin with. This is the only way to falsify evolution, and it is amazing that Darwin never encouraged people to attempt to falsify his theory in this manner.
I'm pretty much done here. The level of pure wrong at the end of this video is just sickening. You've wiped out the fossil record through lies and poor logic. Your entire argument was based off further use of bad logic and the need to disprove and attack well-established theories and principles with no basis or even a clear, concise argument. Your entire argument here was not based off proving evolution or proving creation. It was based off disproving one to prove the other, which is a logic